Also, I think I fixed the microphone problem from last week. I just had to wiggle the USB around a little bit.
Good.
Unfortunately, with like some older laptops, the USB ports are kind of not exactly the most secure.
welcome to Yoda Soda Creations. Yes, this is my great friend Stuart and the business talking movies TV on the recent.
Uh, Honestly, I think this week was better than last week. I at least got more stuff done. Uh, Also, political stuff we won't get into because we don't talk about that here. But yeah.
Rarely, we did kind of ended up we did kind of end up bringing up RBG's unfortunate passing.
Right. Uh, yeah, I got more videos recorded, so I'm back to video duty this week. And yeah. So, what was up with your week this week? Since we always start with kind of like a checking in kind of thing, you know?
I can well, folks were up to some more painting. In fact, the main pl- main place where we want main place where family often sits down to watch movies ended up in a position I never thought I'd see for quite a while. Last time I'd seen it was at this point now about 5 years ago.
Right.
Quite awkward positions with the furniture whilst they were painting. Things managed to go as per normal when it comes to our weeks.
Yeah. Oh, now I remember what uh the other thing I did this week. We finally put the Christmas stuff away. And we organized the garage a bit to actually fit the Christmas stuff. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Unfortunately, we missed the point in time for the getting rid of the tree, so we had to cut it up and chuck it into the yard debris.
I was surprised you took a bit longer since usually for us it's New Year's Day and somewhat into the weekend that we usually end up getting everything packed back up.
Yeah. Let's see now. Trying to think if there's anything else to say that I did. If I can't think of it, it's probably not important. But yeah, this week we're continuing with Aardman Month with a movie that has two titles depending on where you watched it. In North America, Australia, and New Zealand, it is called The Pirates, Band of Misfits. Everywhere else, it's The Pirates, in an adventure with scientists. Which, yeah, both titles fit. They both work.
Although I found myself end up liking the scientist one a bit more due to the fact we have an actual scientist involved.
Eh, what the? Let me do that. Accidentally clicked elsewhere. Eh,
Oh.
but yeah, it's like not a bad movie. Pretty good. Good good voice cast.
Another solid hit from those guys, even though it was the only one without Nick Park's involvement. In fact, the only credit he has is thanks to.
Yeah.
But you can still tell that there is, but you can still tell who's behind it.
Yeah. Wait a second. We had the North American title, but the UK voice cast. What? Huh. Weird. Anyway, it's just something I noticed during the credits. But yeah, animation was solid like usual. It's your typical Aardman style of animation. That kind of I kind of want to call it CG clay, because the models do kind of look like they've been modeled with clay. You know, it's a very distinct art style.
This It's interesting to note that this time around they actually went back to the old roots, but with some computer imagery in terms of some of the effects, particularly the ocean scenes.
Oh, it was a stop motion. Okay.
Like I
Hey,
said, they went back to the old roots, but they still had to do some CG stuff in order to
yeah.
get some of the effects down.
Yeah, then again, I think they only did away with it last time because, like, with the style flushed away, it's like, yeah, you can't really do that with clay. Yeah, this is more of a return to form.
Yeah, back in that scope, it was more understandable.
Yeah. Apparently, it was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2013, but lost to Brave. Because, of course.
I can kind
I
of
don't get the feeling.
I can kind of understand that from a I can kind of understand that because from a visual standpoint, yes, Brave is unique in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, going through the listing of the 2000s and 2010s, it's like the winner not being Disney or Pixar is a rarity. Track. But yeah, good movie. So, on to the recap. The year is 1837, and Queen Victoria has just been informed that England pretty much rules the entire ocean for the most part, sort of. There are still those pirates that they kind of have to deal with. And let me just tell you, Queen Victoria does not like pirates. She hates pirates with a passion. Also, I'll be going through the voice cast as they appear, unless they're like the more secondary characters, in which case I'll probably save those till after the recap. Anyway, the Queen is voiced by Imelda Staunton. It's Umbridge again.
The second time she's done a Aardman film since Chicken Run.
Yeah,
This time she has a more crazy character to helm.
yeah. So we are introduced to the actual protagonist of the film, the pirate captain. And yeah, he's not like the brightest guy, but he means well. But let's just say, anyway, they're trying to make a name for themselves, get a lot of gold, and win the award for Pirate of the Year. Basically, the winner is whoever can plunder the most. And yeah, he goes to fill out the form, and oh yeah, the pirate captain is voiced by Hugh Grant. But yeah, it's like as he's filling out the form at the bar they're at, we're introduced to his main rivals: Black Bellamy, voiced by Jeremy Piven; Petless Liz, voiced by Salma Hayek; and Pegleg Hastings, voiced by Lenny Henry. Okay, I probably could have saved them for the end, but I figure since they kind of moved the plot forward, I'll introduce them now. But yeah, like they'll make a huge entrance. It's like, haha, look at all the stuff we got and how cool we are. And the pirate captain's like, all right, I'm already feeling my chances of winning going. Yeah, not likely. So he crumbles up the application form, tosses it to his parrot, who ends up choking, and like, and he tries to leave, but they notice him leaving. It's like, hey, you, it's like, you think you, and the parrot Polly actually chokes up the application, and they see that he's, filled out the application for Pirate of the Year. And it's like, oh, you think you can be Pirate of the Year, huh? With your bounty of, like, 12 doubloons. And a free pen. Ha 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 ha! We laugh in your general direction. So yeah, morale is low, but like, okay. Gonna, gonna plunder the hell out of whatever ship we come across. So in order, they encounter a plague ship, a ship with students on a field trip, a ghost ship, which promptly disappears at dawn, and he falls into the ocean. And at this point, it's like, oh, why do I even bother? I should just retire and knit baby clothes or something. But his second in command, his number two, the pirate with a scarf, voiced by Martin Freeman. It's like, oh come on, like there's a ship right there ready to plunder. Let's go. Don't don't worry about Pirate of the Year. Like it makes a whole joke out of the whole being a pirate thing. Yeah, and okay, he's, the captain's feeling more up to it now. So it's like, okay, plunder the ship, and they do so, and they don't have gold either. It's actually a science ship, and here we meet Charles Darwin. Why is it? Ah, I'm trying to click on the scroll bar and it clicked on Discord on the tile below. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, Charles Darwin, voiced by David Tennant.
So we have not one, but two doctors actually. Although the
Yes, of course, David Tennant was the 10th Doctor, or 11th Doctor when you factor in the War Doctor. But that's a whole nother mess. And Hugh Grant who was actually the 12th Doctor in the comedy special Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Death.
yeah, I was about to mention.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I was about to mention. Not quite official, but still.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, they capture Darwin, and they're pirates. Of course, they're gonna make him walk the plank. But yeah, he notices the parrot, and hey, that's not a parrot. That's a dodo. Those birds that are extinct. And he suggests entering it into the Scientist of the Year competition in London for a valuable prize. And it's like, a prize, you say? I like this idea. Let's give me a drink. So they head over to London, and yeah, hold on. It's well, not a lot of characters actually have actual names. So his second in command, I'm just gonna call Martin from now on, just to simplify things. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Like, uh, we shouldn't do this. But like, the pirate captain, it's like, no, it's all good. And they go over to Darwin's place. But little do they know that he secretly plans on stealing Polly to impress Queen Victoria with the help of his trained chimpanzee, Mr. Bobo. They, of course, foil this plan, but Darwin's like, that wasn't Mr. Bobo. Mr. Bobo's in the house. And the captain falls for that. Like, how should I put it? Like I said, he's not quite the brightest guy around.
The crew
So it's like, okay. Yeah?
It's interesting. It's like they have the spirit, they just don't quite have the right reputation. Just didn't have the reputation.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's time for the competition. And of course the pirates disguise themselves like, no, we're not scientists. We're I mean, not. We're not pirates. We're scientists. Wow, I got that mixed up. And like, Darwin wants to like do the presentation himself, so he can, of course, sneak off with it and give it to Victoria. But like, no, we got this. And they make a whole big presentation of it with music, with accordion and Mr. Bobo on the drums. And it's like, oh my god, it's the last living dodo. And everyone's like shocked and awe and like ladies fainting. And it's like, oh, the applause. So of course they win.
The applause meter was a nice touch.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, time for the prize, which turns out to be a tiny trophy and a leather-bound collection of encyclopedias. Captain's not pleased about this. Like, you talked about valuable prizes. But Darwin's like, not everything's about money. Which, okay, to be fair, for a scientist, the leather-bound collection of encyclopedias would be a pretty good prize. So that was more of a valuable prize from a certain perspective kind of deal. But like, and they want to leave, but wait, a new challenger approaches. That's right, the Queen is here. And the captain manages to hide Polly, but yeah, it's like, oh, I would like you to donate your dodo to the petting zoo, but the captain's like, no, Polly is the heart of my pirate crew, and oh crap. Yeah, he accidentally blurts out to the Queen, who is known for hating pirates, that he is in fact a pirate. So of course, they block the doors, and she orders him to be executed. But Darwin points out, like, wait, we don't know where he hid the dodo. If we kill him, we won't be able to find it. So it's like, okay, don't kill him. In fact, I'm gonna give him a pardon. Like, okay, you sure don't. No, okay, you can go. And Darwin offers to find out where he keeps Polly. So it's like they're about to leave because, like, hey, they were almost killed. So it's like, yeah, pardon or not, let's get out of here. But Darwin's like, hey, you won the prize, you got pardoned. Come, have a drink. Like, celebrate. So they do so. The captain has a few drinks, a bit too many, and yeah, they're going down an alley, and Darwin asks where he keeps Polly, and turns out he basically stashes everything in his beard, including Polly. And it is at this point that Mr. Bobo pulls a gun on him, and it's like, stick him up. But the captain, being drunk as he is, like, that's not a real gun. Bang! Oh! But yeah, they managed to run off with Polly. And there's a big chase, and the captain corners Darwin. Except it turns out the spot where he cornered Darwin was an elevator. Like, huh. he wants to say that those haven't that hasn't happened yet. Like, actually, hold on. Doing a Google search. Elevator. When were elevators made? And esteemed. Okay, fair enough. It's a bit weird seeing it in the 1800s, but apparently that's still pretty legit. Okay, I'll give that a pass.
I was about to I was about to mention that a non-elliptical version is also non-elliptical version of non-elliptical version circa 18th century, but circa 18th century is also seen in the first National Treasure movie.
It's like you don't really think of elevators as being something that's that old, you know? But turns out it is. Anyway, so yeah, the elevator leads them to a room with a cage for Polly, and yeah, the captain demands that Darwin explain himself, and the Queen shows up. It's like, okay, so here's the deal. I really like getting what I want, so you give me the bird, and I'll give you all this gold. And yeah, like the captain's in a bit of a bind here. It's like on one hand, bird, also cornered by the Queen. On the other hand, if he gets the gold, he can win Pirate of the Year. So yeah, in the end, he decides to take the deal. Though he doesn't tell his crew, he tells them that he raided the Tower of London and burnt it down and stole all the gold. Oh, and that Polly is still safe. So yeah, the crew is cheering, but although Martin is kind of skeptical, it's like, yeah, Martin's the smart one of the bunch. Like he's the guy with common sense. Oh. So yeah, they go to the Pirate of the Year ceremony, and yeah, the captain actually wins the grand prize. Oh, also the Pirate King is voiced by the Pirate King is voiced by Brian Blessed. Uh, how should I put it? Brian Blessed, like his voice is in a class of its own. Like he can choose scenery like there is no tomorrow. I think that's how it goes. Or anyway, he has he has like a really booming voice. Like if he has something to say, he will have your attention.
And he was previously known as Clayton from Tarzan, along with Boss Nass from Phantom Menace. Was in the cult favorite FR7 as El Supremo. Was in
Flash Gordon.
Was in Prince of Thieves as Loxley.
And now I'm just going through the wiki page for what he's done. Oh wow, that's the 70s. I gotta scroll up a bit to more recent days. Eh,
And following this, he would return for another Robin Hood film as Friar Tuck.
yeah,
Ooh, he was in the '60s version of. Ooh, he was in the '60s Avengers also.
yeah. Well, I can't believe he voiced Clayton in Tarzan and Kingdom Hearts. Never knew that before. Cool. Anyway, back to the movie. Yeah, so like, yeah, the captain won the grand prize, except Black Bellamy points out like, oh yeah, so yeah, the Queen pardoned him. So if he's been pardoned, he's not a pirate anymore, and if he's not a pirate, he can't be Pirate of the Year. So yeah, the Pirate King strips him of his prize, his title, his coat, his hat, his treasure, his discount card. And after that, he admits to the crew that, yeah, sold Polly to the Queen. And yeah, they've ditched him. To which the captain's response is, fine, screw you guys. I don't need anyone. I don't need you guys anyway. I'm fine by myself. So he heads back to London and, yeah, he plans to get Polly back, but once he gets to the petting zoo, Polly's not there. But Darwin is, because Darwin found out that, yeah, the Queen is part of a secret group of world leaders that actually eat endangered endangered creatures, and that there's she's gonna be there's gonna be a meeting on her flagship. So yeah, the captain and Darwin, they steal an airship. They invite Mr. Bobo along with like, are you guys freaking nuts? And he runs off. But we later see that Bobo's doing his own thing right now that'll come into play later.
I should
So they
mention
get
he's.
to the flag. What?
I should mention he's probably one of the funnier monkeys, if mostly just for the fact that he's using cue cards for
Note
speaking.
cards. Yeah, Mr. Bobo is good. Like, Mr. Bobo is funny. Yeah, they get to the flagship, and okay, first thing we need to find Polly, and soon enough they manage to get to it. They get to the kitchen because Darwin fell down one of those. I don't know what they're called. They're like those large metal tubes that kind of curve around up top. Like, probably like get for proper air intake elsewhere. I guess I don't know. I know nothing about ships, but yeah, he ends up covered in feathers. And like, oh, is that one of the meals? Like, oh yeah, get into the kitchen. Like, okay. So the chef's getting ready to prepare the food, and they knock him out. They're like, okay, just need to get out of here. But the Queen's calling. Like, okay, Darwin's just like, okay, forget it, let's go. But the captain, like, he tries to imitate the chef, but does a very bad job at it. And the queen herself comes down and confronts them, and they fight. And at this point, Darwin is basically the victim of a whole bunch of repeated physical humor. Like, everything basically hits him in the face. And it's like, okay, once or twice, okay, haha. But when you're doing it like 6 times, that's a bit much. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it turns out the queen's actually pretty good with swords. And they fight, and
As I mentioned, thankfully you're more wrapped up on the action between the two.
yeah. And it's real that the reason why she doesn't like pirates is she finds them to be outdated. They're old. They're old news. Who cares about pirates anymore? And yeah, the captain's in a bit of a tight spot. He, he, he's getting his ass kicked. But thankfully, Martin and Mr. Bobo and the crew come to rescue them. Turns out Mr. Bobo went and told the crew what was going on. It's like, hey, yay! And they managed to beat Queen Victoria, knock her into the ship's store of baking soda with some barrels. And okay, time to celebrate. Uh-oh. Yeah, those barrels were filled with vinegar. Baking soda plus vinegar. This is actually foreshadowed earlier during the science thing.
Yes.
But yeah, like, hey kids, who's done science experiments in school? Yeah, big violent reaction, basically wrecks the ship, tears it in two. And, okay,
I
this is bad.
I am impressed with how well they animated all that.
Yeah, like the animation has been solid all throughout the movie. But yeah, with the distraction, the queen grabs Polly and runs off to the airship, and almost gets away. But the captain grabs onto the rope. That's like, okay, climbing up the rope, but the queen is using Polly to chew through the rope. But Polly fights back, pokes the queen, pokes a hole in the balloon, and yeah, Polly's thrown out the airship, and the captain manages to catch Polly, but like, oh no, they're falling, and they're gonna hit the spinny blades. But thankfully, the crew manages to grab him right at the last second. And, like, geek or comic nerd moment when this was happening. I was like, okay, he's falling, 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 and then they suddenly grab him at the last moment. And my mind went, oh shit, this is how Gwen Stacy died. Unless they retcon that. I haven't been keeping up with Marvel. Though to be fair, it's easier keeping up with Marvel than it is DC. They have, hey, let's reboot everything every 5 years. But anyway, so yeah, the queen swears vengeance, like, you shall have a huge bounty and everyone shall know your name. And it's like, score! Like, this is what we were looking for. Great infamy! Woo! Go team! Yes, hey, if you're a good pirate, or like if you're an infamous pirate, then you're a good pirate. So yeah, now the captain has the highest bounty ever, and yeah, his title's restored, and the crew continues on with adventures. And as the credits roll, they leave Darwin on an island. Mr. Bubba joins the crew, and yeah, the queen is trying not to be eaten by some of the animals that she planned on eating. Also, Black Bellamy is stripped of his title, and the crew actually made their own Pirate of the Year trophy to give to the captain. So yeah, happy ending.
Again, they had the spirit, they just needed that push.
So there were also some other characters that were voiced that I didn't really get into since they're more side characters than primary characters. So you have the Albino Pirate, which I swear, or like I saw that character like, wait, is that bulk biceps? Like it had the whole pale skin, red eyes thing going on. It's like, whoa.
Huh. I'm
But yeah,
surprised I
he
never.
is.
I'm surprised I never caught that connection.
Of course, this movie came first, but yeah, he was voiced. Okay, in the UK, he was voiced by Russell Tovey. Who? What has he done? Oh, oh, he was Alonso in Voyage of the Damned. Cool. Anything else? Um,
Midshipman of the Doctor Who episode The End of Time.
yeah.
And Voyage of the Damned.
Same character. And there's our first Discord reboot for the night. Of course, in the US version, he was actually voiced by Anton Yelchin, who was Chekhov in the Star Trek reboots. Then you had the Pirate with Gout, voiced by Brendan Gleeson, who. Okay, what has he done? Uh, oh, he was Mad Eye Moody in Harry Potter. Okay. Right. And then the surprisingly curvaceous pirate, also known as like how should I put it? Girl and Lady in Disguise pirate, voiced by actually Jensen, who
second Sony slash Aardman role because she was Bryony in Arthur Christmas. Outside of that, she was in How to Train Your Dragon and Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
And she would also return for Sherlock Gnomes following Scientists. And also
Then, of course,
return for The Hidden World.
right.
Oh, and she's the new jock in Lady and the Tramp remake.
Yeah, it's like I saw that listing and like, wait, that movie came out already?
It's
Yeah,
much like this movie. It's something that sort of came and went
yeah.
because the year this.
I think after a certain point, and people are kind of like, on the Disney remakes. I think after Lion King, they decided like, yeah, we're not really feeling this anymore. Like, I mean, it was cool the first or second time, but yeah,
Also, Marvel might have had something to do with it.
right.
Because as I was going to say,
Yeah, but
it's possible that Avengers might have also
that's fair.
shadowed this.
Fair enough. But then you have the other varying, the other character whose voice varies depending on region. The pirate who likes sunsets and kittens. In the UK, voiced by Ben Whitehead.
The current voice of Wallace.
Oh, so he is. Actually, hasn't really done that much. Huh. In the United States, Al Roker. He of the Today Show. Like, didn't expect to see him. Not that we heard him, we were listening to the UK version apparently.
Let's just say the source we're watching these movies on tends to be a little
Yeah.
strange. Tends to be a little strange.
Like I said earlier, we had the American title, but the UK voice cast. Honestly, I don't remember who the pirate who likes sunsets and kittens was. But hey, that's side characters for you. Anyway, three more voices, I believe. Admiral Collingwood, voiced by Mike Cooper. He doesn't actually have a wiki page. Scarlett Morgan, voiced by David Schneider, who
Obviously, no relation to Rob.
right. And doesn't seem to have done anything I've really heard of. And the game show host, voiced by Mitchell Mullen, also with no wiki page.
And according to IMDb, he was uncredited.
As for the name of the movie, apparently, according to Hugh Grant, he said that the studio didn't think Americans would like the longer title. and thought that the and from the director Peter Lord apparently thought that they didn't think the title would really amuse people that much.
Also, apparently, the book this is based on, and the series for that matter, doesn't have quite the following elsewhere from country of
Yeah,
origin.
yeah, because apparently it's actually based on the first book of an entire series.
And I cannot but wonder if certain references were referencing books in the series. One more voice member to note, albeit from the additional list, director Peter Lord.
Yeah, like looking at the wiki info, it looks like it was actually fairly successful. It had a budget of 55 million and had a box office of 123 million. So it's slightly more than got double the money back. Yeah, good movie.
Like I said, it's a modest success, but at the same time, when you have something as big as Marvel, it's kind of hard to compete.
Yeah. And apparently there was originally planned to be a sequel, but it got canceled. They didn't quite do good enough.
This was something I meant to mention earlier. Piven previously had a role in the Pixar Cars movie as Agent Harv. So this will be the second time I actually encountered him.
Okay.
Also, the second time the original author was responsible for the screenplay, next to William Goodman's Princess Bride.
Ooh.
But yeah, once again, classic Aardman charm. Definitely glad to note that for you, at least, the humor was a bit of a step up. And again, spectacular animation.
Yeah. Yeah, good movie. I would recommend it.
Another thumbs up from an Arvin fan.
So, shall we get into the news for this week?
Well, the Warners are eyeing either Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet for the Wonka prequel.
Hmm.
I'd say the second choice is a close fit towards Gene.
Right.
Quiet Place Part 2 is moving to September. New Thor Love and Thunder sit photos are a possible first look at Gore. Uncharted movie next year. Afterlife pushed to November. Ooh, Morbius is moving a year in wake of No Time to Die move. Which was moved to October. Amidst rumors of Worf's return for the Picard miniseries,
Hmm.
Doran has said, I haven't heard a peep. It's possible Spider-Man 3 and 4 are shot back to back.
Cool.
Expect no returns for K2SO for Andor. Return of Heroes Reborn, asking whatever happened to Mightiest Heroes. Widow's expecting another delay before Disney considers a streaming release. Lucas apparently made a crazy visit to the Mandalorian set. Dusk reportedly in early development at Sony. Savannah Welch shared some stunt training, confirming Barbara Gordon will see some action in the Titans. Official merchandise for the Snyder Cut reveals Darkseid's present-day armor in its entirety. Ginger Gonzaga being added to She-Hulk for a key role.
Oh, cool.
Seems as a first look at the Web Slingers ride with Tom Holland. Ooh, a Batman animated series sequel reportedly in development for HBO Max.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, ooh. Hopefully that'll turn out good. Okay, moving on to the newest video. So new, in fact, that I haven't actually edited in the intro and outro yet.
Gunn's Suicide Squad is just a hair breadth from being completely finished, but he is demanding patience for the next trailer.
All right.
Evan Peters seemingly confirmed for WandaVision by Spanish voice dub actor.
Oh.
Ooh, Damon's reportedly added for Love and Thunder.
Cool.
Leaked promo from Eternals revealed new look at the costume team, including Joby's Thena. Seems the multi-project deal didn't put Haley Steinfeld off on Katie Bishop. Jones is keen to return to the role of Black Cat.
Oh.
Seems also got some first looks for Space Jam 2 alongside Godzilla vs. Kong and Guns Squad. Snyder Cut confirmed for a full film release as opposed to a 4-part miniseries. Cox reportedly finished filming his scenes as Daredevil for the threequel. Ooh, never seen Joker clip from the Eider cut.
Hmm.
New merch images revealed that EQG is apparently getting the life treatment.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't know how to feel about that.
Impact Miniatures is back at it after 6 or 7 years.
Hmm. The Transformers My Little Pony crossover is getting a sequel. That's more comics I need to reserve or like put in order for my box.
Lunar Bolts demo now available. New mod for Crusader Kings 3 underway. New books listed by HarperCollins.
Hmm.
The 10th anniversary of EQD was earlier this week.
Yep.
And now looking into the people we lost this week. Ron Campbell, Australian animator from Flintstones, New Adventures of Pooh, and Yellow Submarine.
Hmm.
We also had to say our final goodbyes to Larry King.
Yep.
Randy Parton, younger brother of Dolly. designer Furlan, who was in Lost and Babylon 5.
Oh.
Perry Bodkin Jr., composer for Happy Days. Oh, and working Mindy. David Richardson, Simpsons 2.5 Men. Finally, just composer and arranger Sam Netsko, who worked alongside Frank Sinatra at one point.
Oh. Oh. Ugh. Yeah, it was a good movie and definitely recommended to people. And uh, yeah, we should probably wrap up for the night.
once again enjoyed myself as an Aardman fan.
Yep.
Certainly will be glad when the paintings are done with, as it will mean that things are not out of place.
Yeah.
And yeah, one more week of Aardman Month to go. Till which, stay safe, stay well, and hopefully we will see you all next week. Take care.
See you later.